All right, welcome to another edition of Take Five. Today's not going to be too long. We're going to finish Exodus chapter 16. So we're in verse 21. Each morning, everyone gathered as much as they needed, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. On the sixth day, they gathered twice as much, 2 omers for each person. And the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses. He said to them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever is left and keep it until morning." So they saved it until morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink or get maggots in it. "Eat it today," Moses said, "because today is a Sabbath to the Lord. You will not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you are to gather it, but on the seventh day, the Sabbath, there will not be any." And guess what, though? Nevertheless, some of the people went out on the seventh day to gather it, but they found none. Some people are just stubborn. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? Bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the sixth day he gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone is to stay where they are on the seventh day. No one is to go out." So the people rested on the seventh day. Now I'm going to just make this point. God commanded, work 6 days, rest one. Now that is it's in the Ten Commandments. And when he created the world, he rested one. And that's been one of his principles for years and years and years. All right. Now, I don't believe necessarily, since Jesus came, and that's a whole different subject about the Old Testament and New Testament. We won't get into that right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be on Saturday. Back then it did have to be on Saturday. But I believe the principle's there because God knows what's best. And everybody needs one day of rest and worship and meditation. And so I choose to do that. I've insisted with both my jobs I don't ever work on Sunday. And I work 6 and rest 1. And it's just really a good principle. You need that. Okay. You can make enough money in the other 6 days that you can take that one day off. Chick-fil-A runs by that principle. And that's what they believe. They believe they can make enough money in the other 6 days and they can rest one, and they don't open on Saturday. And I think God's blessed them pretty good. All right. But these people didn't want to do that. They didn't want to rest on Sunday. They wanted to go out and gather manna. And it didn't work out for them. All right. Verse 31, the people of Israel called the bread manna. All right. That's why they called it. The word actually means what is it? Because they don't know what it is. So they just called it, what is it? It was white like coriander seed. I'm not sure what that is. And it tasted like wafers made with honey. Sounds pretty good. Verse 32, Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Take an omer of manna and keep it for the generations to come, so they can see the bread I gave you to eat in the wilderness when I brought you out of Egypt." So Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it. Then place it before the Lord to be kept for the generations to come." Of course, this wound up being in the Ark of the Covenant, and we'll get to that later on. So verse 32, so that they can see the bread I gave to you in the wilderness when I brought you out of Egypt. Verse 33, so Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it, and place it before the Lord to be kept for the generations to come." As the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron put the manna with the tablets of the covenant law. So now this is they don't have these tablets yet. Okay, so this is sort of Remember we were talking about that yesterday, how there's prequels. It's telling you there's going to be some tablets coming, but we'll get to them here in a couple chapters. So that it might be preserved. The Israelites ate manna 40 years until they came to a land that was settled. They ate manna until they reached the border of Canaan. Now, they haven't gotten to Canaan yet. This is prequel, okay? This is telling you what's going to happen. And omer is 1/10 of an ephah. And I don't know what that is either. But anyway, those are measurements. Anyway, that's the main thing, though. The main point here is work 6, rest 1. All right, we went almost exactly 5 minutes. So thank you for watching on this edition of Take 5.